You're in the shower, water is running, your hands are still in your hair, and somehow, you are no longer in the bathroom. You are in a conversation that never happened. Someone says the thing. This time, you answer perfectly. No awkward pause, no weak laugh, no thinking of the right words 3 hours later. You say it exactly right. They finally understand. Maybe they feel bad, maybe the whole room goes quiet. Maybe you walk away like the main character in a scene nobody else will ever see. Then you come back. The water is still running. Nothing actually happened, but your mood changed. That is the strange part. A fake conversation can make you feel angry, or powerful, or relieved, or embarrassed. Your body reacts to a scene that only existed in your head. And if you do this a lot, you may have wondered what it says about you. Why do I keep making up scenarios? Why do I keep replaying arguments? Why do I imagine a future version of myself that feels sharper, calmer, more impressive? The simple answer is this. Your mind is trying to finish something. Real life rarely gives clean endings. Someone says something rude, and you freeze. A meeting ends before you explain yourself. A friend misunderstands you, and you decide it is easier to let it go. A person you like gives you mixed signals, and you never ask what they meant. Then later, when the room gets quiet, your mind opens the file again. It takes the unfinished moment and rebuilds it. This time, you get another draft. You can say the thing you missed. You can ask the question you avoided. You can win the argument. You can make them finally see your side. That is why many fake scenarios start with old conversations. The scene is not random. It usually has a wound in it. A small one, maybe. A moment where you felt stupid. A moment where you felt ignored. A moment where you felt smaller than you wanted to feel. Your mind goes back there because it wants a better ending. The fake scene gives you something real life did not give you in the moment. Control. In real life, people interrupt. They misunderstand. They react in ways you cannot predict. They do not always apologize. They do not always notice what they did. In your head, none of that is a problem. You control the timing. You control the room. You control your voice. You control their reaction. That is why the scene can feel so satisfying. For a few minutes, life obeys you. The person who hurt you finally listens. The person who doubted you finally sees it. The version of you who usually stays quiet suddenly knows exactly what to say. That version can feel addictive. Because it is you, but edited. No fear, no hesitation, no bad timing, no messy face, no shaky voice. Just the clean version, the one you wish people could see. That is another reason these scenarios happen. They let you test a version of yourself. You imagine giving the speech. You imagine standing up for yourself. You imagine walking into a room and not shrinking. You imagine being funny, calm, attractive, respected, wanted. The scene may look fake. The desire underneath it is usually honest. It may be saying, I want to be heard. I want to be chosen. I want to stop freezing. I want to matter in that room. This is why fake scenarios are not always useless. Sometimes they are rehearsal. Before a hard conversation, your mind tries lines. Before a risky choice, it pictures reactions. Before a future moment, it checks how you might handle it. That kind of imagining can help. A speaker runs through the speech. An athlete pictures the movement. A nervous person practices saying no. The mind does this because real life is easier when the moment does not feel completely new. But rehearsal has a trap. Sometimes you imagine the scene so many times that your mind starts to feel as if you already did it. You already gave the speech. You already told them the truth. You already became the impressive version. You already won. Then real life feels slower, harder, less clean. You still have to send the message. You still have to start the work. You still have to have the awkward conversation with a real person who may not follow the script. That is where imagination can quietly replace action. The fake scene gives you the feeling without the risk. You get relief without speaking, confidence without trying, closure without asking, victory without showing up. It feels safe, but it can leave you stuck. There is another kind of fake scenario. The worst case one. You are lying in bed, and suddenly your mind creates a problem that has not happened yet. Someone is mad at you. You fail. You get rejected. The conversation goes badly. The message comes through, and it says exactly what you feared. You know it is made up, but your chest still tightens. Your mind does this because it wants to prepare. It thinks, if I can picture the bad thing first, maybe it will hurt less later. Maybe I will have a plan. Maybe I will not be surprised. That makes sense from a survival point of view. But modern life gives the mind too many imaginary threats. A text with no reply. A look from someone at work. A small mistake in a meeting. A quiet change in someone's tone. Your mind can turn each one into a whole scene. And because the scene has emotion, it feels important. The body does not wait for proof. It reacts to the picture. That is why you can feel stressed from something that never happened. The argument was fake. The rejection was fake. The embarrassment was fake. The feeling was real. This is where fake scenarios can confuse your relationships. You may imagine someone being cold to you. Then later, when you see them, you already feel distant. They did nothing, but the version of them in your head did. Or you imagine someone perfectly. They understand you. They say the right thing. They become exactly who you need. Then the real person shows up tired, distracted, normal. And you feel disappointed, not because they betrayed you, because they could not live up to a scene they never agreed to be in. The mind can use people as characters. Real people are not characters. They forget things. They say clumsy sentences. They get busy. They disappoint you without meaning to. They also surprise you in ways your imagination could not write. That is why the fake scene should be treated like a signal, not a home. When you catch yourself inside one, ask a simple question. What is this scene trying to give me? If you are winning an argument, maybe you want respect. If you are giving a perfect speech, maybe you want confidence. If you are imagining someone finally choosing you, maybe you want reassurance. If you are replaying a mistake, maybe you want a chance to repair it. Once you know what the scene is offering, you can look for a small real version. Not the movie version, the real version. One message, one sentence, one boundary, one honest question, 1 hour of actual work, one small action that moves the feeling out of your head and into your life. That is the difference. A fake scenario can show you what matters, but it cannot live for you. It cannot have the conversation. It cannot build the skill. It cannot repair the relationship. It cannot make the real room go quiet. At some point, the scene has to end. The easiest way to come back is through the body, not by fighting the thought. That usually makes it louder. Come back to the room. Feel your feet, notice the chair, touch the wall, name one thing you can see. Take a sip of water. Listen for the closest sound. The fake scene pulls you somewhere else. Your body brings you back. And when you come back, do not shame yourself for drifting. The mind makes scenes because it is trying to help. Sometimes clumsily, sometimes too much, but usually for a reason. Maybe it wants closure. Maybe it wants safety. Maybe it wants to practice courage before you use it. Maybe it wants a version of you that does not hide. So when the scene starts tonight, notice it. Who is there? What are you trying to say? What do you finally get in that version? That is the part worth paying attention to. The fake scenario is not the life, but it may point to the part of life you keep avoiding. And once you see that, the question changes. It is no longer, why am I imagining this? It becomes, what small piece of this do I need to bring into the real world?